Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another week of Night Sky This Week. I'm your host, Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy. Welcome. I hope you had a great weekend. Did you guys get to see the meteor shower? Whoa! I was up late last night. Sunday night, Saturday night was not so great. Sunday night was much better for me. I saw about 19 shooting stars over the course of a couple of hours. It was really, really good. We had some clouds rolled away, then some clear skies, and then some more clouds. Stayed up a little bit, waited, but it didn't really pan out. And but it was really good. It was still a lot of fun to do, and I hope you guys got to see some. And it's not over yet. Today is August 14th, 2023, and we're starting a new week of stargazing after the Perseid meteor shower. So why don't we dive in? If you did see the meteor shower, I'd love to hear in the comments if you did see something and how many shooting stars. According to experts out there already, they're looking at the total tally of per hour, what the peak was, and it seems to be somewhere between 70 and 80 shooting stars per hour was the maximum rate this year, which is still very, very good because the estimation was between 60 and 100 per hour this year. So it really was good. The moon was out of the way, so it was really nice. Now, on my Sky Safari Pro that I'm running right here, great software, and I love using it because it predicts where things are and it shows me where certain events are, like the radiant of meteor showers. So here it's showing me where the Perseid meteor shower radiant is as of sunset on August 14th. So you can see that's today where the sunset is, just basically north of the sunset is where we can see the radiant rising, and we'll come back to it in a second. But I wanted to point out that really nice, you can see the two planets, Mercury and Mars, after sunset are pinning down the western sky. So if we kind of zoom in, you'll get to see it a little bit better here. There we are. There's Mars. There's Mercury. Mercury will be a challenge because it's so close to the horizon after sunset, and it's kind of embedded in the glare of the sunset, right? Embedded in the glare. And that makes it a lot more challenging to see. Mars is above there. And if you have a pair of binoculars, boy, oh boy, that makes it a lot easier to find the red planet. So highly recommend that. Definitely viewing the red planet. And if we kind of move on to the rest of the sky towards the southwest, as soon as darkness falls, you'll see the bright star Spica. Spica is the lead star in the constellation Virgo, the Maiden. And then Antares will be in the due south after sunset. Now, exactly where and how far away this planet will appear from the horizon, the altitude, really will depend on where you are. The farther south you are near the equator, the higher up in the sky. The more north you are, closer to the polar region, the lower it is and more challenging it is to see Scorpius and its brightest star, Antares. And then we move on to other stars that are visible, like Altair, Vega, and this is Deneb. We can't see it written out because it's just not dark enough on this projection right now. And then there's the Perseid meteor shower radiant. Now watch this. I'm going to go an hour ahead. This is at 8:14, about the time of sunset. But if we go to 9:14, you see it's darkened enough where you can see the constellations shown in this projection here. So there in the south, you can see Antares and the Scorpion constellation. And Spica with Virgo is already going down towards the horizon in the west. Now, Spica and Virgo and its parent constellation, Virgo, is really a springtime constellation for those of us in the northern hemisphere. To really get the best views, when we refer to constellations to us being associated to certain seasons, it's usually meant in terms of evening stargazing. So, after supper time, once it starts getting dark in the early evening, where are these stars located and which constellations. They're usually associated with those evening time observation sessions. So springtime was April, May, early June is really the best time to see Virgo, the maiden with Spica, but it's still visible now, even in August, and in the later part of summer, it's still visible, but it's a challenge because it's getting closer to the western horizon, following the sun. So that is what appears. Now, if I move this even later, say around 10 o'clock, then it gets much darker and we get to see more stars. Now, what I want to show you is that the Perseid meteor shower is still visible. There you can see the radiant. Now, I've talked about this on the Friday show. If you tuned in on Friday, I had a special show where I just gave you a kind of a taste, a preview of what the Perseids are about. So you get a little bit of appreciation of, I guess, the awe and wonder of what we're actually looking. So here you can see in this projection here, the where the radiant is. Now, what I mean by that is if you trace back the individual streaks of light, you see they all radiate out. They all seem to come from one point and then radiate out in all directions. The shooting stars do. That is where the Earth is basically plowing into, heading into this cloud of debris left behind by a comet that causes the shower to happen. Each of those little sand grain sized pebbles are hitting the atmosphere at about 60 to 80,000 kilometers per hour. Can you believe that? It's incredible just to think about that. 60 to 80,000 kilometers per hour. A little sand grain sized pebble thing, and it burns up in the atmosphere. Now, I know that the peak was this Saturday. Everybody was talking about Saturday and Sunday. Yes. But guess what? The Perseids are still happening. It's such a large cloud that Earth is slamming into. It takes weeks for us to travel through it. It's only the densest part that we reach on August 12th and 13th. But we've been in this cloud since end of July. And we will be for the next week or so as well, up until about August 24th. So what I recommend is if you have clear skies, go out and look for shooting stars. They're still going to happen. Fireballs, these unusually bright meteors, are still going to happen, no matter where you are around the world. So Patricia, you're in Wyoming. Sharon, you're in South Africa. Guess what? You can see it. John in Scotland can also see it. We can all enjoy the meteor shower, even though despite the peak happened this Saturday and Sunday, today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the rest of this week, go ahead. Don't be put off by what you see in the media, that it's only the Saturday and Sunday. You can still see shooting stars. Not at 50 to 70 per hour numbers, but maybe more modest, anywhere from like 10 to 30 shooting stars per hour are visible this week. So heartily recommend going out. And you can see the radiant is rising above the horizon late at night, like 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. It's rising in the northeastern part of the sky. Don't worry about not exactly being able to see what it looks like, the constellation. Never mind that. The point is that you get to see, you're looking in the direction where they appear to be radiated out from. Remember, if you can get out of the city, the views are even better. Now, also visible in this part of the sky while you're out looking, right? The moon is pretty much almost new. On Wednesday this week, it's officially new moon, meaning there's no moon in the sky. Right now, it's a really razor-thin crescent in the early morning skies. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's really a challenge to see because it's almost gone, basically. It's disappeared from our skies. But look what's up here, just above the radiant. So if you're looking towards the northeast part of the sky, look for this giant W formation. Do you see what I mean? This giant W formation of stars right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars that make this wide kind of angled W shape. Check it out. It's really beautiful. This is the Cassiopeia constellation, and it really features in the early evening this autumn, in the northern hemisphere, the autumn skies. This would be the springtime in the southern hemisphere, I would say, but you probably can't see Cassiopeia because it's so far towards the north. So right across the northern hemisphere, anyone can see this right now, late at night around midnight. But if you wait a couple of months, it's going to get earlier and earlier in the skies. Hey, I want to say a big hello to Storm. Storm, hey! Nice of you to join our live stream. Fellow stargazer out there. I love seeing stargazers from around the world, wherever you're watching from. And I see Wynn's watching from Rome. Sharon's in Johannesburg. Fantastic. I just love seeing it. Make sure you guys put in where you're located from. It's wonderful to see everyone, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, what is it called now? X maybe? X or Twitter? I guess I'm still Twitter, but whatever it is, if you're wherever you're watching, lovely to see you. And stargazing is easy to start, and that's what I'm kind of showing you. Little tricks and tips on just little things that you can see, no matter where you are. And I can see where we've got Tim in Oklahoma, we've got Khadija from San Diego, Derek in Brighton, UK. Wonderful. This is something you guys can all see, even if you're in the city and there's light pollution around. It's okay. You're not going to see every single thing. You're not going to see stuff like the Hubble Space Telescope or the James Webb. Of course not. But, let's get reasonable expectations. But you can still see amazing, incredible stuff. And one of that amazing stuff is the Cassiopeia. Now, what's very cool is this time of the year, one of my absolute favorites, and this week, because the moon is out of the way, folks, the Milky Way is amazing to see. Heidi, great to see you in Seattle. Nice. And here we go. If we zoom out, okay, so there's the Perseids, right? So that's where the radiant is that we talked about in the northeast. But check this out. Through Cassiopeia, that giant wide-angle W formation that I'm talking about, if you have dark enough skies, you'll see this. But if you're stuck in the city, use binoculars and just scan that area around Cassiopeia. What you'll notice right off the bat is chock full of stars. Clouds. It looks like clouds. Like these are actually cosmic clouds of stars. Millions of them. This, what you're looking at stretched out before you, across the sky, overnight this week is perfect. You'll see the Milky Way band. This is our home galaxy, folks. You're actually watching our home galaxy stretched out before you in the overhead skies. It's really incredible. So many cultures around the world saw this as a backbone of a giant whale or a giraffe or other animals that different cultures imagined that it would be magical creatures as well. It's just, and there's so many stories associated with the Milky Way. It's incredible. And I actually highly recommend you watch I'm going to put after this show, I'm going to put a link in the comment section to a lecture that I hosted for Astronomers Without Borders just last week about cultural perspectives of the Milky Way. So when you go out and watch it this week, I want you to take a look at this video. And this astronomer who works with the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada is part of a project that is collecting these cultural stories of the night sky. And part of that is the Milky Way. And it's absolutely incredible to see the references around the world of so many people that have so many different stories associated. It's just mind-boggling. I'll put a link to that and just watch that, and it'll bring a perspective that perhaps you've never had before about watching the Milky Way. So where is it? So you see it over the overhead skies. Now, another great place to go in the overhead skies this week without the moon, if you got clear skies, is look for what we call an asterism. And this particular asterism, it's a pattern of stars that the human eye sees and easily makes out in the sky. It's just a natural thing for the human brain to do, is make up a pattern. And it's right here in the center. What I'm pointing out is 3 very bright stars. These are the brightest stars that'll be in the overhead sky. So like practically right over you around between 10 o'clock and midnight in the northern hemisphere. If you're there, it'll be right overhead. And you'll still see this if you're in the southern hemisphere, but it'll be positioned lower in the sky. This is just absolutely incredible to see because the Milky Way band runs right through this giant thing called the summer triangle. This pattern of 3 stars, so easy to see. If I zoom in, you'll see there's 3 stars. So remember, we're looking straight up, right? We're looking straight overhead. And closest to the overhead skies between 10 p.m. and midnight local time, wherever you are, you'll see Vega, which is the brightest of the 3 stars that make up the summer triangle. Vega is about 25 light years away. This bright star that you're seeing up here that I'm marking out. Vega is about 25 light years away. Imagine that. And it's incredible to see. And where it is in the galaxy, check this out, guys. So where are you? When you look at that star 25 light years away, where are they? Well, it's actually only very close to us. Here's our Milky Way galaxy, stretched out if we could view it from outside of our galaxy. So it's a pinwheel shape. You see on the left-hand side, if we were to look above it, we'd see a pinwheel shape, a central bulge, a very fat kind of center. You can think of it as the downtown core of this city of stars. And by the way, the city of stars has over, get this, 400 billion citizens, stellar citizens, right? Stars, 400 billion. Our sun is one of them and is located right about there. You see where this is? Showing us where Vega and the sun is, right? So we can kind of zoom in. Maybe we can zoom in there. There we go. And you can see where it is. There's the sun. And there is, it shows you Alpha Lyrae is the official scientific name of Vega. But you can see they're close neighbors. They're only 25 light years away. And let me see if I can get out of this view. Yeah, kind of zoom out. They are manually zooming out. Just bear with me. And you can see here already the spiral arms. Do you see? We're in the same spiral arm that Vega is. Right there. Do you see that? So we're kind of on the, I would say, the suburbs of the Milky Way galaxy. That's what you're seeing here, is the suburbs of the Milky Way. That's where Lyra, the constellation, this brightest star, Vega, is located. Very close. We're a close cosmic neighbor to each other. And you can see if we look at the Milky Way from the side, it's sort of like a plate. You can imagine like a dinner plate. Looking at it from above, you see the circular formation. If we look at the plate on the side, it looks like a line, doesn't it? And then you see the central bulge right there. And we're kind of on the suburbs. The downtown core is about 28,000 light years away here. And then you can see we're on the edge here. So this is just a fun way of representing what we're seeing in the sky. And so Vega is right there. And then the other stars, you have Altair, which marks the constellation Aquila, the eagle. It's a fainter constellation. You could mark it out if you were in the countryside. You could easily catch all these stars that make up the wings and the head of the eagle. But Altair, very bright, easily visible, even from downtown of a city. And then what else can you see? Deneb. Deneb is a whole other thing here. Now, Deneb is such a cool star. It's one of my favorite stars. Do you notice that Deneb, in this animation, Deneb is similar in brightness to Altair and Vega, right? Now, I mentioned that Vega's 25 light years away, right? Altair is even closer. It's 17 light years away. So that means that light takes 17 years to reach us, right? Now, get this. Deneb, check out Deneb. Deneb is 1,400 light years away. 1,400 light years away compared to Vega, which is 25 light years away, and Altair, The other two members, right? Altair is 17 light years away. And Deneb is almost the same brightness as the other two. How is this possible? That's because it's telling us that if it's shining as bright as something that's much closer, even though it is orders of magnitude farther away, Deneb must be a monster star. And indeed, it is. If it was placed inside of our solar system, it would swallow up the entire inner solar system. That's how big and monstrous in size that Deneb is. Now, Deneb is farther away. If we look at this auto zoom and I show you where Deneb, you see that how much farther? That's 1,400 light years away. But even this intense, it takes 1,400 years for the light to reach us here, right? 1,400 years for the light to reach us here. Just think, I mean, it's incredible to see that Deneb is still within the same spiral arm as we are. We're in the same neighborhood, cosmic neighborhood of the entire Milky Way galaxy. And by the way, I know what you're thinking. How big is the Milky Way galaxy? Well, I mentioned that it's 400 billion stars are contained inside this. From one edge to the other, from one side to the other, it spans 100,000 light years. 100,000 light years. It means light from a star on this side takes 100,000 years to reach the other side. Isn't that amazing? And it's about 1,000 light years thick in some of these places. So it's really incredible. Hi, Mel, watching from Dubai. Very nice, so nice. Do put in where you're watching from. I love to hear folks where you're located and your skies. Betty is watching from Kansas. So nice to see you, Betty. I hope you get to do some sky watching and get to see the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way is just an incredible sight, and we get to see it this week so well. And so I'm pointing out some tips and tricks on as you're outside and you're watching that beautiful sky above you. What are you going to see? So here you're seeing the what we call the summer triangle. And guess what? The Milky Way runs right through the summer triangle. So these three very bright stars, and Faye watching from Jamaica, this is something that you can see as well. Watch for those three bright stars. You can't miss it. There's nothing as bright in terms of a star than these three. So they're easy. And the human eye will make that pattern very simply, that giant triangle. And by the way, another absolutely beautiful sight is Cygnus the Swan constellation. So Deneb marks the tail of Cygnus the Swan. So watch this. So I'm going to just zoom in. You can see where this is Cygnus the Swan, and it looks like a giant cross in the sky. It's also known, you might have heard of this, as the Northern Cross. The Northern Cross. And here I'll show you, it's on its side. So here's the head of the cross is represented by Deneb, and then you have a star here at the center of the cross. One arm, the left arm, the right arm, and then down the spine of the cross all the way to the bottom of the cross, marked by Alberio. Okay, that's Alberio, which marks the head of the swan, Cygnus the Swan. So, and this is really, really cool to be able to see this swan laid out before you. Cosmic, beautiful bird. And guess what? The Milky Way runs along this Northern Cross, this bird, this beautiful swan, just right across it, all the way its length. And if I zoom out, you see that Milky Way runs right down towards the southern sky. Do you see that? Right down to the southern sky. All this week, without the moon, it's going to be great. The next clear night, you gotta go out and check this out. This is the week to do it because it's just beautiful. We'll get another chance probably next week, a little bit, part of it, as the moon starts creeping up in the early evening skies. But after that, the moon will interfere and it won't be as good of a view. This is prime time viewing for the Milky Way. Ahmed from Baghdad. Wow, great. Nice of you to join us. Zani, also from South Africa. Very nice for you to join us. Ivan is watching from Dubai. Hello. So wonderful. I just love seeing people around the world chiming in. It just shows that our shared heritage is the night sky. We all share. When we look up at the sky, there are our friends, our family, our fellow humans are looking up and have made beautiful stories about the night sky. And the Milky Way is one of those magical things, cosmic entities in the sky, our home galaxy. Now look at this, guys. I just needed to show you this. Do you see how it's brighter here in this animation? This part, this is the Milky Way, that brightness that you see at the center of the screen. That is the central hub, the downtown core of our Milky Way. If you get to go to a dark enough site where there's no light pollution, you will notice that brightness. And it's amazing to think that that is the central hub, the core of the Milky Way galaxy that's located, get this, 28,000 light years away. So what you're seeing, this glow, this fat kind of ball-like glow at the horizon there, that is the combined light of millions and millions of stars that are huddled and packed together in the core of our galaxy. Now I'll show you, if I just mark off a star and I show that to you in the galaxy view. So what you're seeing is this right here. Okay, if I can just somehow move that, let me see if I can get that. Let me see. Oh, that's funny. Why is this not moving? Interesting. Don't know why. For some reason, there it is. Okay, so we had a little glitch there, but let's see if we can get it back. I'll try again. There we go. So what you're seeing here is that bulge that I showed you by that ball near the horizon. That's over here. That's this. Do you see that? That glow over there? This is an animation if we were outside of the galaxy. But it gives you that perspective of what we're seeing in our skies. That's bulge, and this is that arm that's spread out above us, right? So when you're looking, at the sky, okay, when you're seeing the sky and you see that central glow towards the horizon, and then you look at that line, that band that we call the Milky Way band, that band is one of those arms spread out, like arms right above you. So that's what this is. That's what this is, this part right here, this part. This is that part, and this is the central bulge that I was showing you near the horizon, and this is the band, the Milky Way band that's spread out above you. It's really one of these arms. See, like one of these arms right here that you're looking at. There's the central bulge, and this arm is actually in between us. We're over here, and it's in between us. Okay, there's another arm that's stretched out before you, and this is what you see in the sky above you. This arm, we're in a next door arm, and behind this arm over here that we're seeing stretched out above us beyond that is the core of our galaxy. Isn't that incredible just to think? So what you're seeing here, right here, near the horizon, late at night this week, that's going to be that brightness, that brighted region is the core of a galaxy, 28,000 light years away, and it contains, the glow is the combined glow of millions of stars huddled there. And then above it is that other next door arm of the Milky Way, right above our heads. And that glow from the Milky Way is also of millions and millions of stars. They're just so far away, guys, that we cannot see the individual light of the individual stars. We can only see the combined light of all those stars. And so, again, it's just an easy way to remember is to look for the giant summer triangle right now, high above in the northern hemisphere sky. Those of you in the southern hemisphere, this region is also visible. It's going to be slightly different oriented, but the Milky Way is so beautiful right now in your winter skies. You got to go out and see it. Without the moon being in the way this week, it's the perfect time to really enjoy the Milky Way. And get those binoculars out. They make such a difference as well. So highly recommend that. So folks, that's it for this week. You can see I'm passionate about the Milky Way. I absolutely love the Milky Way. The Milky Way, to me, is one of the most fascinating things. I just love just touring it with binoculars, lying down on a blanket or a reclining lawn chair, while you're watching for those meteors that will be flying this week. The Perseids are still there, just in lower numbers. Just ponder what that glow of light is that you're seeing. It is incredible to think. It puts everything into perspective, makes your troubles seem this big on the grand scheme of things, and hopefully brings you some peace and quiet to your mind. After a busy day, there's nothing like looking up at the sky to bring some solace to all our lives. I think it makes such a difference. Hey, if you're interested in more in stuff like this about stargazing, some tips and tricks, something to inspire you perhaps, why don't you visit my book on a bookstore? You can catch Backyard Guide to the Night Sky by National Geographic. It's considered a bestseller thanks to you guys. You guys have made this a bestseller. Thank you so much. It's ranked regular in the top 3 stargazing books available. It's by National Geographic, so it has these amazing photographs and maps. I've made sure that I've put in decades of experience of teaching people about the night sky in this book. It's great for beginners, great for intermediate, advanced people. It makes a great gift as well. In fact, I've got it available on my website, thenightskyguide.com. I'm selling dedicated, personally signed copies. Makes a great gift. If you want something a little bit more meaty, well, there's the 6.5 Pounds of Knowledge. This is a coffee table book. I'm a co-author on this. Get out by National Geographic. I've packed it filled with all 88 constellations visible around the world, no matter where you are. This is a significant book that will help you understand humanity's connection to the night sky. It contains astrotourism, contains astronomical archaeology. It contains the science behind what we're seeing, the latest images, everything are there. In fact, amazing tours of constellations packed with deep sky objects. Everything is there that you could wish for in terms of an atlas and beyond. And I'm selling those signed, personally dedicated copies on my website, thenightskyguide.com. I'll put a link after in the chat as well. Tons of stuff, guys? I love it. So happy to see you guys here. I love seeing you, and I'm everyone. I'll be looking through the comments after the show, putting in some links for you that I find are going to be useful. That Milky Way show, and a link to my website with the books as well. I'll include that. And stay tuned. Watch my channels, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all of those, because I'll be posting sky charts for different things that happen during the week, and also pop-up news, breaking news, things that I find, I'll put there. So you don't want to miss that. So make sure you hit that notification button, sign up, subscribe. If you find this useful, if you find this content useful for you, and you got something out of this content, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking my videos. It means a world to me. It allows me to bring these videos to you each and every week for free. And I love doing that. It's my passion. And I hope I can inspire you to just spend a few moments of your time to looking up at the sky. That's all it takes. So guys, I wish you health and happiness for this week. I hope you get some good stargazing going. And until the next video, I wish all of you clear skies. Bye-bye.